Moon Force.
Revolution.
Srila Prabhupada and the Space Travel Hoax.
In every activity, we are conditioned. Just like people are not trying to go to the moon planet. So many conditions they could not fulfill. Therefore they are not successful. Why you should go to the moon planet? It is not meant for you. But they will go by force. They are thinking that we have become independent now by so-called scientific knowledge. So they have not been successful. Every planet is meant for every other different kinds of living entities. How you can go there by force? Just like any man outside America, he cannot come here by force. He must take the permission of the American government, visa. Then he can come. So how can go to the moon planet without taking the visa? Simply by your bodily strength? That will not be allowed.
That will not be allowed. That will not be allowed.
So these people are going to the moon planet and they are saying it is full of dust, it is full of clay or something like that. All these foolishness. That means they are not rich. Outside they take some photo and they come up. That means they are not rich. Yes. This is not the process of reaching. This is childish. That also I made statement. This is childish. You cannot go to the moon planet in that way. That's not possible. They simply create story, but it will never be successful. But it will never be successful. If it is suitable, first thing that if it is suitable you can learn, but to my opinion it is not suitable. Therefore you cannot learn.
Therefore you cannot learn.
That's why people are trying to go to the moon planet. So you have to create a body like that. You cannot go with this body. They are attempting to go with this body, that will be failure. It will not possible.
This body, that will be failure. It will not possible.
As early as 1960, Srila Prabhupada spoke about the futility of the Moon and Mars missions in his first book, Easy Journey to Other Planets. He states, "Man's attempts to reach the Moon, the Sun, or Mars will be completely futile because of the different atmospheres prevailing on those planets. It is not advancement of knowledge to go to the Moon after 10 years of effort and take a rock and come back." According to the official story, Luna 2 was the first spacecraft to reach the Moon's surface successfully on the 13th of September, 1959. Between 1968 and 1972, 6 manned missions to the Moon were supposedly conducted by the United States as part of the Apollo program. Apollo 8 was the first manned mission on December 1968, followed by Apollo 10 in May 1969 and Apollo 11 in July 1969, during which Neil Armstrong became the first man to supposedly walk on the Moon. Since its inception in 1958, the truth of NASA's occult origins has been discreetly hidden from public awareness. Origins linked to perhaps the most wicked of all occult practitioners in modern history, Satanist Aleister Crowley, and the highest echelons of NASA's administration, dominated by secret society initiates, including Freemasons and Nazi SS personnel. This high-tech occult cabal secretly used the Apollo moon missions not to advance science, but to serve their devotion to the mystery gods of ancient Egypt. But if you go to the official NASA website and search for them, you'll find whitewashed bios or no information available at all. The predecessor to NASA was a young, talented rocket scientist, Jack Parsons, who was the true father of the American space program for his contribution to the development of solid rocket fuel. Along with friend Ed Foreman, Jack took supplies from his part-time job at the Hercules Powder Company, and they built explosives. In 1934, the duo's interest in rockets went from a child's fantasy to an academic pursuit when they gained the support of the California Institute of Technology, and with several other members formed the GALCIT Rocket Research Group. On Halloween 1936, the group performed their first motor test near the Devil's Gate Dam in Pasadena, which exploded but made them infamous on campus as the Suicide Squad due to the danger and craziness of their experiments. Rocket technology was considered by many scientists at the time to be foolish and mere science fiction in terms of any practical use. This was the beginnings of the famed Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the institution responsible for the Mars rover landing and many other achievements in rocket and robotic sciences. The non-scientific set of ideas were steeped in the occult, Satanism, and black magic. Parsons swore the oath of the abyss, having only the choice between madness, suicide, and that oath. The FBI, suspecting Parsons' taxpayer-funded salary might be supporting the Antichrist, took it seriously enough to open an investigation, and documents recently released make up 130 pages of Parsons' religious beliefs and document his frequently careless handling of classified materials. Jack Parsons is known for his occultists' ideals, black magic, and reverence to the satanic agenda. He had a secret life. Jack and his wife Helen had come into contact with the Agape Lodge of the OTO, Ordo Templi Orientis, International Magic Fraternity in Los Angeles in 1939, and had joined in 1941. They created a Gnostic mass temple in the attic, fully fitted out with a copy of the Egyptian Stele of Revealing, venerated by followers of the famous occult magician Aleister Crowley, who was already a 33rd degree Freemason and the world head of the OTO. It was the only such temple in the world at that time which was properly functioning. Aleister was made famous by yellow journalists as the wickedest man in the world. He considered his central identity to be the great beast 666, as referred to in the Book of Revelation in the Bible. L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology, enters the picture. In the late 1940s, Hubbard was broke and in debt. A struggling writer of science fiction and fantasy, an expert in hypnotism, an intense curiosity about the mind's power, led him into a friendship in 1946 with rocket fuel scientist John Parsons. Parsons and Hubbard soon lived in an aging mansion in Pasadena, which was home to an odd mix of bohemian artists, writers, scientists, and occultists. A small domed temple stood in the backyard, and Parsons and Hubbard practiced sex magic. A robed Hubbard chanted incantations, while Parsons and his wife-to-be, Cameron, engaged in sexual intercourse intended to produce a child with superior intellect and powers. The ceremony was said to span 11 consecutive nights. Hubbard and Parsons finally had a falling out that ended in a court dispute. Parsons died in 1952 when a chemical explosion ripped through his garage. L. Ron Hubbard went on to create the Church of Scientology, a masterpiece of mind control. However strange Parsons was, it did not preclude NASA from naming a crater on the dark side of the moon after him. and America's space program owes much to Parsons' rocket design and innovations. Parsons started Aerojet Corp., now the world's largest rocket producer and manufacturer of solid-fuel boosters for space shuttles. Parsons, who took the oath of the Antichrist in 1949, contributed to the design of the Pentagon under subsequent CIA Director John J. McCloy. It's no coincidence that NASA has been erasing and trying to rewrite its true origins. The mighty pillars of scientific certainty that NASA supposedly sits upon are actually satanic black magicians of the occult. This is probably a small trivial fact that is omitted in today's school curriculum. NASA has sprouted from the likes of Aleister Crowley, L. Ron Hubbard, and Jack Parsons, and in addition to the unholy trinity, there were two more later additions to the NASA Dream Team, ex-Nazi Werner von Braun and Freemason Walt Disney. All the elements were in place to create one of the greatest financial and theological frauds in human history, NASA. L. Ron Hubbard said it best, "You don't get rich writing science fiction. If you want to get rich, start a religion. Fate is not without its ironies. NASA got rich because of science fiction, and for many people, NASA is a religion." In the US and USSR, engaged in the fake Cold War, which was pre-engineered by the Khazarian Rothschild Zionist bankster cabal after World War II, and had financial control of both governments. Both countries went on a spending rampage, and billions of taxpayer dollars were funneled into the mythical Masonic space race with the Soviets. The father of pseudoscience was Trofim Lysenko, who worked under the Jesuit-trained mass murderer Joseph Stalin. Lysenko eventually became the official scientific voice of Russia, and with science and political science combined, to generate revenues by creating false scientific dogma reinforced with repetitive brainwashing. NASA has studied Lysenkoism well and has deceived the world by their sleight of hand. Today's incarnation of NASA is a military, Masonic-controlled entity that acts as a sole gatekeeper to information about the cosmos and our place in it. Vast industries controlled by the Khazarian Mafia have spawned around NASA and the military-industrial complex. Major shareholders, roughly 80%, are from four institutions: Vanguard Group, BlackRock Advisors, LLC, Fidelity and State Street Corp., all Khazarian Rothschild's subsidiaries. The Masons of NASA take in billions of taxpayer dollars, only to redistribute it amongst the Khazarian Rothschild's majority-owned companies and subsidiaries. Billions of dollars have been embezzled by NASA and are reallocated for other nefarious uses by the Khazarian Mafia. In return for our obedience and gullibility, we get a fake fairy tale saga about the cosmos, directed and produced by Hollywood at a fraction of the actual cost. It's certainly more profitable to fake it than make it. The line between Hollywood and NASA is virtually indistinguishable to the unwitting observer. Hollywood has cashed in massively and perpetuates the worship of NASA through the endless genre of space sci-fi movies. Don't be surprised to find the same institutional majority shareholders of major Hollywood companies and subsidiaries such as Disney, Comcast, MGM, Time Warner, DreamWorks, and Sony Entertainment, and thus Hollywood becomes a de facto propaganda machine for NASA. The controlled major mass media is also controlled by the Khazarian Mafia, and hardly a day goes by without an article written about the incredible exploits of NASA and its quest for life in the so-called void of space. The Apollo moon landings are now thoroughly debunked and was known to be technologically impossible all along. It's also been proven that famous film director Stanley Kubrick was hired to fake the Apollo landings due to his technological achievements in front-screen projection, such as in 2001: A Space Odyssey. Professor Oleg Olenik's stereoscopic parallax analysis of the supposed moon photos confirmed the use of front screen projection. Virtually no movies ever made about the moon landings, supposedly the greatest achievement accomplished by mankind. Only 2 movies about the Apollo missions have been made, The Right Stuff and Apollo 13. Both films have 0 moon scenes. The reason is Hollywood moon footage would look so realistic as to raise suspicion about the original Apollo footage. The movie Capricorn 1 was created in 1977, which is about a fake mission to Mars, shot in a studio and passed off as real to the public. However, in the end, the perps are caught and the hoax revealed. This is a NASA-Hollywood-CIA collaboration to be used as a way to debunk Apollo doubters. The CIA created the term conspiracy theorist to counter critics of the Warren Report of JFK's assassination. An extensive study of Apollo imagery by photo analyst Jack White reveals all its fakery. The real clincher for the Apollo hoax was the announcement that NASA had lost all the Apollo 11 boxes of photos, video footage, and telemetry data. It could only happen if it was intentional. These artifacts were far too important to be handled so sloppily. Exploration of the moon stopped because it was impossible to continue the hoax without being discovered. No man has ever ascended much higher than 300 miles above the Earth's surface. At that altitude, the astronauts are beneath the radiation of the Van Allen belt that shields them from extreme radiation. NASA mistakenly admits the danger of the Van Allen radiation belt. Why is it only a problem now and not with the Apollo missions? Confirmed Freemasons are John Glenn, Gordo Cooper, Edgar Mitchell, Buzz Aldrin, Don Eisel, Gus Grissom, James Irwin, Walter Schirra, Thomas Stafford, and Paul Weitz. These are just the astronauts that have been positively identified as Freemasons. This obviously does not include the Freemasons that are working for or behind the scenes of NASA, which is very significant. NASA is an irrefutable tool of the cabal to disconnect people from understanding their own consciousness, true power, and significance. NASA has told us that we're just one of quadrillions of planets orbiting hundreds of billions of stars in billions of galaxies and maybe possible unlimited multiverses. In essence, we're a speck of dust on a pinhead swirling in a tornado. Our existence is pure chance and was formed from the nothingness before the Big Bang. This has been a massive deception perpetrated by the Jesuits to control the world and create their new world order. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, also known as Prabhupada, was the elderly guru who traveled from India to New York in 1965 and started the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, or ISKCON. He is probably the first person to have challenged the authenticity of the moon missions, speaking as early as 1960 in his book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, in which he wrote, "Man's attempts to reach the moon, the sun, or Mars will be completely futile because of the different atmospheres prevailing on those planets. It is not advancement of knowledge to go to the moon after 10 years of effort and take a rock and come back." In a lecture he gave in New York on March 9, 1966, he stated, "These people are going to the moon planet. They are saying it is full of dust, it is full of clay, or something like that. All these foolishness. You see, that means they have not reached." Following this, he spoke numerous times about the moon landings and never believed that they had been there or any other planet.
They do not know what are these different planets in the sky. They do not. They're simply imagining. They're trying to go to this moon planet, Mars planet. That is also not possible. They have not gone to the moon planet.
Yes.
Yeah. It is far, far away. Their calculation is wrong.
Oh.
They are going to a wrong planet.
it must be the Rahu planet.
Or something, not moon planet.
How many,
It is above the sun planet.
moon planet is farther?
Yeah.
Oh. Because they say that the moon planet is the closest planet to the Earth. That's their calculation. And they say that it orbits around the Earth, and then that the Earth orbits the sun.
They're all wrong.
If you believed they put a man on the moon, if you believed there's something up his sleeve.
Yes. This is not the process of reaching. This is childish. That also I made statement. This is childish. You cannot go to the moon planet in that way. It's not possible. They simply create story, but it will never be successful.
In a lecture in Boston, on the 7th of May 1968, Prabhupada said, "Several times I have explained that in the moon planet the temperature is, that is scientists' explanation, 200 degrees below zero. So with this body, if you go to the moon planet, you shall immediately die."
Those who are engaged in vicious activities, they cannot go to that moon planet. And it is also stated that if somebody goes to the moon planet, he gets duration of life, very, very long period.
To this book, when you meant that, when you said residents of the moon, you mean people that go there to live or that are...
There are already, in every planet there are living entities, residents.
And this is...
Yes, it is very common sense. Suppose if somebody wants to land on your country, America, you do not allow. There are so many restrictions, visas, passport, and immigration. And how do you expect to land there, all of a sudden there? They are so intelligent, and though their duration life so long, they are far advanced in knowledge, everything they are advanced. So you cannot expect in that way to land there. This is common sense. Besides that, the scientists also agree that the temperature there is 200 degrees below zero. So how you can expect to land there and live there?
Or you don't... How do you yourself feel? Do you feel that if the United States or the Soviet Union were to attempt a landing and their spacecraft went down, what do you yourself expect?
So far our calculation goes from the books, nobody can do that. That is impossible. That if you can prepare a suitable body, you can go there. But this space suit is not the suitable body.
Can I ask you some questions about your general attitude on things going on around us? For instance, what do you feel about man going to the moon?
This is simply a waste of time. I already commented on this when I was in San Francisco. The reporters asked me this very question. I flatly replied that it is simply waste of time and waste of money, that's all. That it is simply waste of time and waste of money, that's all. Simply waste of time.
But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic? Why does Rice play Texas? We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win, and the others too. know this and do it right, and do it first, before this decade is out, then we must be bold.
The following is a conversation between His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and George Harrison, John Lennon, and Yoko Ono, recorded on September 11th, 1969, in London, England.
Similarly, we are creating our next body according to our karma. So Krishna says that you create a body so that you can come to me. The whole Vedic philosophy is that if you want to go to some planet, just like people are trying to go to moon planet, so you have to create a body like that. You cannot go with this body. They are attempting to go with this body, that will be failure. It is not possible. In every planet, the atmosphere, everything is different. So you have to create a different body to go to a particular type of planet. There are millions and thousands of planets. A moon planet is one of them. The reason Krishna says, Duskriti no, Naradhama, because they are very, very sinful. Duskriti, mischievous, miscreants, simply wasting money. They're taking huge salary, huge research fees from the government and simply misleading person. That is their business. Miscreants. Actually they want money. But to take the money, he has to bluff. Without bluffing, how he can take money? They will present themselves, I am great scientist, I am great philosopher, so give me money, millions of dollars, I'll go to the moon planet, I'll go to the Mars, and taking money and wasting, and because we are rascals, we are also, oh, they are making so much advancement, yes. Andajathan Dhairuponi Yamana, we are following blind leaders, because we are blind, we do not know. This is the position.
We are following blind leaders,
because we are blind, we do not know. This is the position. So, we have to open our eyes. No, God cannot see. I can cheat God.
Sometimes the godless materialist challenges the existence of God. Ravana was one of them, and he wanted to deport ordinary men to the planets of Indra, or heaven, by material means, without consideration of the necessary qualifications. He wanted a staircase to be...
Just now, they are planning that everyone will go to the moon planet without any qualification. That is their plan. It is Ravana's plan. Ravana said that why you are undergoing so much severe austerities to go to heaven? I shall make a staircase and you go directly without having performed any austerity. So, to go to the moon planet, according to the Vedic description, it requires a qualification. So, these materialist scientists, they are thinking that they can go anywhere by the force of their so-called scientific advancement. But it has not proved successful till now. But still they will say, yes, in future we shall go. All right, in future. Trust no future, however pleasant. That's all. One. Conditioned life means this material world. We are conditioned by the laws of material nature. Just like we are trying to go to the moon planet, but we are conditioned. We cannot go. There are so many impediments. This is the nearest planet. Still, because we are conditioned, we cannot go. No free access. Jyotirveda. Jyotir means the luminaries in the sky, the stars. You can get. We're trying to go to the moon planet and wasting our time and energy. But if you consult Vedas, you get full information of the moon planet, sun planet or any other planet. Kardamani created an airship just like a small city. In that airship there was nice lake and palaces and garden, and not only that, the airship traveled all over the universe. They could not make any airship to go to the moon planet, but Kardamani, by his yogic power, he created an airship which could go to all the planets. This is yogic power. We are tied up. We are not free. It's like we are trying to go to the moon planet so many years, but because we are not free, still we have not been successful to go there. So there are so many planets within this material world. We can go. We have got now machine, very speedy machine. But why cannot go? Because we are conditioned. You cannot go by your whims. You must be qualified to go to certain planets.
When there is darkness, it is not possible to see. Similarly, in every activity, we are conditioned. Just like people are not trying to go to the moon planet. So many conditions they could not fulfill. Therefore they are not successful. Why you should go to the moon planet? It is not meant for you. But they will go by force. They are thinking that we have become independent now by so-called scientific knowledge. So they have not been successful. Every planet is meant for every other different kinds of living entities. How you can go there by force? Just like any man outside America, he cannot come here by force. He must take the permission of the American government, visa. Then he can come. So how you can go to the moon planet without taking the visa? Simply by your bodily strength? That will not be allowed. When we are within this material world, it is very, very difficult to get out of it. You see, the sky is covering the whole material universe, and there are different layers. It is not so. You cannot go even to the nearest planet, Durga. Very difficult. You cannot, your condition so. You cannot go. You are thinking, I have got now discovered this. It is not discovered. The aeroplane was long, long ago. So, you cannot go. That is our conditional life. They are trying to go to the moon planet, unsuccessful. They cannot go. Therefore we are conditioned. I am conditioned to live on this planet. I cannot go to other planet without permission. It is common sense. Just like in India, one cannot come to America without proper visa. So how you can go to the other planet without proper visa? So they do not think that is there for asuras, demons. They are simply thinking that they are perfect, they can do everything. That is not possible. Now I am sure they have not gone to moon. How they will go? It is beyond the sun. I was protesting that they have not gone. Now I am convinced that they have not gone. The Russian scientists and American scientists joined on the platform. Don't expose me.
I don't expose. In all other fields, they are inimical, and the scientific field, they are friends. That means, if another scientist exposes me, then my attempt will be futile. So let us join together.
You don't expose me and I won't expose you.
Because we are doing business, we are getting money from this rascal government. So, if you expose me, then I will not get money. And if I expose you, you will not get money.
That is why we are asking so many questions about the moon and the planets.
Yeah. So what is the doubt? It is a fact that they did not go to the moon. That's a fact.
Did the people who said they went to the moon, did they go to another planet?
Yes. Or they did not go anywhere.
Yes.
They are in the desert. What is that?
Arizona.
That's all.
Yes.
That is possible.
Yes, it's possible. I wouldn't put anything beyond them.
They are all doing this nonsense here on this planet and saying advertising.
Yeah. They made big propaganda that they would get there and then they had to succeed. And then they showed that they succeeded, they stopped the program.
That one film with King Kong. It was made in laboratory.
Yes. Also, 2001 was very expertly made like that. There was one movie, 2001, which looked even better than the moon shots.
Someone was arguing with me that if like Russia and America both are enemies, if Russia achieves something great like going to the moon, America will immediately try to expose it.
Yeah.
But on the contrary, America accepted all those things, and
because
then they started also.
Both of them are thieves. They have made agreement. Don't expose me, I will not expose you.
So that is their agreement. But they are enemies.
No, enemies, they are not enemies. They are simply rogues and thieves, that's all.
They said they went to the moon and they showed films of them landing and walking on the moon. Was this all a bluff?
Yes. Clearly. All laboratory work. That's all.
They all made it up.
Yeah. They are spending so much money uselessly going to the moon planet and this planet and stopping crime. The same amount may be spent on distribution of prasad and chanting in a mass scale. Everything. Is situated in the middle from the circumference 2 billion up and down, and the moon is situated above the sun 1,600,000 miles. How they can go to the moon? They think the moon is closer than the sun. They may think, but we are thinking in this way. Who is right?
We are right. The Vedas.
Yeah. Thinking is right because they could not go to the moon. They say they went, but actually they could not. Now they are disappointed. Now they are disappointed. Now they are disappointed. You do not know fully what is the material nature. Therefore, we do not believe that this man went to the moon planet. We have got different description of the moon planet. The moon planet is situated 1,600,000 some miles above the sun. We have got this description.
But it appears, at least
it appears, that is another thing.
So
as soon as you say appears, that means you have no knowledge.
But we say on the authenticity of the description in the Vedic literature. Therefore, it is authentic. This proves that they did not go to the moon planet. If it is above 1,600,000 above, then it is impossible. So there is bogus propaganda. They have gone to the moon. First life, the scientists, they admit now what we shall do. We have bluffed in so many ways. Now what is the next bluffing? They have bluffed, last bluffing was they are going to the moon planet and everything is failed. Then what is next bluffing? That is the problem. How to keep that big post. So far we understand from Vedic literature, the moon is the second planet, the sun is the first planet. If we consider like that, then moon is beyond the sun planet. Their estimation is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1,600,000 miles above the sun, the moon is situated. Now, if we take consideration of the sun planet situated 93 million miles from Earth, then add 1,600,000 miles again, it comes to 15 millions, 95 million miles away from the earthly planet. And how you can reach there in 4 days? 95 million miles away. If we apply our common sense, then it appears they have never gone to the moon planet. It is all bogus propaganda. It is not possible. You believe that they have gone to moon planet, you have not gone. You have heard from somebody in the newspaper, that's all. That is your authority. So if you can believe in the newspaper, then I cannot believe in the Shastras. But I am speaking from the very beginning. Yes, I wrote that Easy Journey to Other Planets in 1958. And you'll find this statement in my book. This is all childish.
Did we fly to the moon too soon? Did we squander the chance in the rush of the race? The reason we chase